long overdue, but we finally welcome back our cousin from across the pond to talk Confess Fletch and discuss if it lives up to the previous two movies in the series. Hint, it does because those ones are shit. I'm Chad.
And I'm Matt.
Get comfortable because we have a full house tonight on the 75th episode of We Used to Talk About This at Work. All right, so this has been quite an effort, man. We said Josh will be back in May?
Yes.
And it's probably October now, depending on when I decide to upload this episode. And wow, what the hell happened, man?
All right. Well, it was summer, and summer things happen. Man gets busy.
You can't pull hot boy summer. You
I wasn't daring to do that, but what I was trying to say was that you insisted that for this particular episode I bring my partner along, which is Alix, who's here in the room. Well, maybe not the room, but the vicinity tonight.
She's on the call. Yeah,
she's on the call. She's here, and we have very busy schedules. We're very busy, so getting some free time for both of us at the same time is a Herculean effort, but we managed to do it.
It has been a task. Well, welcome back, Josh, and welcome, Alix. Very nice to finally meet you.
Very excited to be here. I've heard a lot about both of you.
Thank you.
Also heard a lot of both of you on the podcast.
We really appreciate, more guests. We really appreciate more listeners. And we also have one more person here. How many times have you been here before, miss?
I'm not keeping track. I'm relying on you to keep track.
I see. So we've got Rachel back, a mainstay of this organization. What's this, 8?
It's something like that.
This can't be 9, right? I'm looking at you, Matt.
It might be, because last time, remember, you were saying it was 8, and then we was going to hold off. So this might be 9, actually.
Shit. All right. We'll see you at Hanukkah, all right?
Okay.
But, yeah, so we got Rachel here at 8 or 9. Who the fuck knows? Got Josh here. This is your 6th.
Correct.
And we welcome Alix for her first time on not only on our show, but a podcast. So we welcome you and just say we hope we don't turn you off from being a guest on podcast tonight.
Oh, I'm sure you won't. I'm very excited.
All right. Well, why don't we learn a little bit about you? Who are you, Alix? Tell us about yourself.
So I'm Alix, as we have said. I love books. I love films. My partner is Joshua, as he has said. We have had quite a busy schedule over the last few years or so, but I guess that's part of becoming proper adults, and the years are just flying by. That's a little bit about me. We live in a very crazy household at the minute. There's quite a lot of us, but hopefully we will be moving out to just being the two of us in a month or so.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Before we get to your topics, so you've listened to a few episodes and you've listened to the Josh episodes. And the very first episode Josh was on, we were like, hey, man, you moving in with her girlfriend and her family.
I know what you're going to say.
I know where this is going.
What's going on with that ring, my guy? And he's like, she's good. So what is your take on this situation?
Really excellent question. I'm glad we brought this up. We should have maybe put it down as something we wanted to talk about.
It literally popped in my head when you're like, I'm doing adult stuff. I'm an adult.
I kind of forgot about it until you mentioned as well. It's something that Josh gets told about a lot of the time by my family and friends.
Oh, so your family does bring it up.
Yeah. They have no shame.
So somebody said nobody was bringing that stuff up, but all right.
Nobody brings it up when I'm in.
It's when he's not there. But I have also brought it up with his mother as well, who also agrees with me. So, yeah.
All right, that's a separate conversation.
Like God, we're in separate rooms, but Yeah, I wanted a house and then a ring, but we will see what happens.
Mm.
Can't
Mm.
force the man.
I hope you're saving saving your pence, if you will. Right? Right? That's change, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Josh
since
doesn't
I've
know
been
any
away.
expressions, so it's okay. We can.
He's an old man trapped in a fucking Gen Z body.
So true. So true.
So what you been up to, Alex?
What have I been up to? Yeah, a lot is happening. We've bought a flat, which we'll probably have that as a separate conversation, but that's been a lot of organization. I feel like I've kind of taken the lead on a lot of the paperwork because I'm a massive control freak. And luckily Josh lives with that, which is good. A lot of my friends live in London now, so after a few years of living away, managing to see them a lot, keep up with their crazy lives and crazy schedules. Work is very busy as well, so we have a lot to keep us busy. And I have to make time for all of the TV I watch and all of the books I read as well. There's a lot happening always, and it's just going to get busier. So we'll see how the years go.
Have you seen any movies lately?
So today I watched Don't Worry, Darling.
You watched? Was Josh not there?
No, no, he wasn't.
Can you explain why he didn't go to the movies with you?
I went with my girlfriend.
I actually went into
Girls
town
thing.
and then
What'd
just
you
said
say?
bye outside the cinema and then just walked off.
Sounds like
For a walk.
something you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went with your gal pals. Without spoilers, how was it?
It was really good. Harry Styles wasn't really good. I don't know if that's a spoiler or not, but I'm not won over by his acting yet, I'm afraid to say. And with no spoilers, I wasn't blown away, but I still really enjoyed it.
Interesting. Okay.
Without spoilers as well, I think if it finished 20 minutes earlier, it would have been like a 4.5 stars.
Ooh. Oh, they overstayed their welcome, huh?
Yeah, I think I need to just reflect on it and just gather my thoughts.
Fair enough.
That's good.
Also, so I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago, the Queen passed away.
Yeah.
And
it's been a crazy few weeks for us in the UK.
So I'm really curious because you both would be considered Gen Z, right?
Yeah, just about.
Okay, so I'm really curious, like Gen Z in the UK, what are you all's feelings towards the Crown?
Towards the Crown, just to put it out there, neither me or Josh are royalists.
Okay.
I'm a royalist.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Whoa. Maybe you should know that before you move in with this man.
Depends how you define it.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say is that, like, imperialism, very complex relationship I feel like our generation has with the royal family, the divine right to rule, all of the dark history. I don't vibe with that whatsoever. From like a historical perspective, I find the royal family really interesting, and it's just nuts if you think about it for too long, just all of these different traditions that we have, and it just doesn't make any sense. Right. What I was shocked by when the Queen died was how many people in our generation were like queuing to see the coffin and queuing to like meet the king. I was a bit taken aback by that because it wasn't something that we've ever really discussed.
Right, because it's like beforehand they was talking all shit about the Queen.
Yeah.
And then she passed away. You're like, oh, we have to.
It was crazy. Like I was at work when the Queen died and we all got a day off for the funeral. But when I was saying to people, like, hope you have a nice weekend, people were saying, well, it's not a good weekend. It's not a happy weekend. So I had to backtrack and be like, oh, no, sorry. Yeah. You're right. It's really sad.
I didn't really think about that you guys would get time off. In Matt and mine's industry, when a president dies, we get the day off.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
That's cool. I don't know if we get the same. we got a new prime minister and a new king within the space of a couple days.
2 days.
So yeah, that was her first job, was meeting the new king. So
Who's the PM now?
So Liz Truss is our prime minister, and there's a really funny video of I think it's an Australian TV network at the funeral, and she gets out of the car and they can't identify her. They're like, oh, maybe she's a minor royal, maybe she's a celebrity, and like they have no idea who she is, which I think just defines the whole situation that we're in currently as a country.
Okay, it says she's part of the Conservative Party.
Yeah, they've been here a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had like 4 prime ministers in the last few years.
Yeah, they were saying that, you know, the Queen has seen, you know, 16 prime ministers, and someone tweeted like, well, my son's 6 and he's seen about 7, so not a massive achievement.
But why don't you guys tell us about this new flat you guys are getting? Like, remind me, what part of town do you guys live in currently?
Well, we currently live in Twickenham, which is in the southwest of London. And we're moving to Harrow, which I believe is in the northwest. Whatever that means to you. Yeah, it's not terribly far away. It's not terribly close either. But it's both nice places. I don't know Harrow that well. I think Alex can say more about it.
Yeah, I think the reason why we chose Harrow, I guess, was because it was at least a bit familiar to me, as I have family there. Before, I was keen on living where we live now, but I think Josh was a bit concerned that if we lived right by my parents, I would just be at home for a Sunday roast every week and not spend a lot of time with him. So that's why we've decided.
You clearly have no issue not spending time with the girlfriend.
We are quite comfortable not spending time with each other.
I'm just poking. You know, it's all good.
I think it's a positive thing, though. We don't get sick of each other.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, you don't want to, you know, like you said, you know, grow tired of the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we survived through lockdown, I guess. So if we can make it through that, we can make it through anything.
That's very true.
So is that what made you guys want to move? Is just to move to a different location?
Yeah, I guess so. The ultimate plan was to move back to Oxford, which is where we were living before, but being like in our mid-20s, all of our friends had moved away. We wouldn't have a social life if we stayed living there, and in London you can't really run out of things to do. So I think after spending like 2 years inside, we want to try and at least claw back some of our younger years, do some fun stuff.
And Oxford's a weird place because the only people who live there are either students or really old people. There's no in between. Whether you're 18 or 80.
With old people. That's what you do.
I
Josh
did.
actually did.
When do you guys move?
That's the big question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you not sign the lease yet?
No, so there's been some sort of issue. Like, buying a flat is always stressful and long drawn out, and it was going really smoothly for us. And then this one delay has happened, and basically nothing has changed in about 7 weeks, but we're not in a rush. We're hoping to move in soon. It was meant to be end of September. It will probably be end of October now, but
jeez,
that's okay. I'm fine being at home. I really like it here, but it'll be good to move into a new place as well.
I get that.
On the horizon, yeah.
So how's House of the Dragon treating you?
Yeah, I thought I'd mention that because it's quite good. But it's quite good in the surprising ways, in that, you know, Game of Thrones finished quite controversially.
Yeah.
And then you hear a spin-off is coming out, and your expectations are quite low. And I've only seen, I've been watching it with Alex, we've been watching it together. We've seen 2.5 episodes, so I'm not fully up to date. But yeah, it's quite. Have you guys seen it?
So
I don't know.
yeah, I've only seen the first two.
I'm up to date.
Okay. What's your
Matt?
opinion, Rachel?
I think it's interesting. I think it's been good, but some of the stuff that happens in some of the later episodes, I'm not sure how I feel about. Um,
Mm,
I don't want to
okay.
do any spoilers, but
The stuff that Twitter's losing its mind over. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
seeing so many
exactly.
like random memes. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I think something wild must have happened.
Yeah, there are a couple of things, especially in this last episode, that I'm like, I'm not sure how I feel about this. I don't know if I like that they did this, but it's interesting. I'm gonna keep watching.
Right. I'm worried now.
You'll
Is
have to
it?
let
Is
me
it?
know what you think when you get caught up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Is it? Is it? You mentioned how it's kind of, I guess, weird. Like not kind of what you would expect. Is it in the same way as Game of Thrones kind of did that from time to time, or is it something a bit different?
No, I think it's probably along the same lines as
Early Game of Thrones.
Hmm.
yeah,
All right. Okay. All right.
I think
Kind of
so.
get the idea.
Yeah.
Cool. All
So
right.
before we jump to you, Rachel, so you say you guys are watching House of the Dragon together. What are your other shows that you're watching?
I just watched an episode of Rings of Power. I say like, Alex has not really been watching it with me, but she'll be doing something in the background while it's on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Um,
commenting on it. Yeah.
yeah. What else
How
are we
come they didn't
watching?
just throw that ring in the volcano? Why they putting that ring on?
Yeah, I'm like, this is so stupid. What is the point? Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. That's a good show that we watched
Yes,
together. Love
I
that.
love that one.
I watch a lot of TV on my own. There's a few shows that we both would enjoy watching together. So at the minute, I think that's it. Like the US Office, obviously, but we just continuously watch that. We haven't, been watching it kind of season one to the end. What else have we been watching? Is that it for the time being?
So this is the second time you mentioned that you watch a lot of TV. What all are you watching?
I'm watching Jane the Virgin for the very first time, which is funny because all of my friends watched it when they were like 14. So I'm only just watching it now and then I've forgotten absolutely everything that happens in it. That's like my comfort show right now.
Okay.
I like
So
that one
good.
too.
I'm a massive fan of Drag Race as well. So the new UK Drag Race has just come out. So
Mm-hmm.
jumping back on that because that is the best thing to happen in autumn in the UK, I would say.
Okay.
And yeah, and the Great British Bake Off as well is back.
Oh yes, Bake Off. Yes.
So it's kind of like a prerequisite of being British to like get back in time for 8 o'clock to watch that every Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been doing that as well.
There's a different name in the US, isn't it?
No,
No, it's the Great British Bake Off.
yeah.
Wait, isn't there one called the British Baking Show?
Maybe that's
Or
like
is-
a Netflix bootleg.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
maybe.
I thought that was just how it was transliterated. I'm sure that's
Do you-
something. Must be something else.
Rachel, what have you been watching?
So I binge watched The Bear on Hulu. Have any of you seen that or heard about it?
I love the bear.
Okay. That's good.
I binge watched it when I went back to the States.
Yes, Matt talked about it on an episode you were on, Rachel.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, I've been watching that and it was kind of so to me it was advertised as a comedy, or at least that's how I saw it advertised as. But I thought it's been more dramatic. Like there's funny moments, but I would more consider it a drama. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, it's more drama with comedy mixed in,
Yeah.
but it's still a great show.
Yeah, it's great. I got sucked into the characters, so I'm gonna keep watching it. I definitely am following the characters now.
This you watched it more recently. Explain to them the concept for the listener.
Yeah, so basically this chef who worked at the world's best kitchen has gotten awards. His brother dies and he comes home because his brother left him this kind of more casual restaurant in Chicago in their hometown. So he comes to take over and kind of fix the place up. It's not running the best, and it's kind of about his struggles through dealing with the death of his brother, and then also being close to family, and also with this restaurant.
Yes. Go check it out. It's a great show.
Sounds good.
It's good. And then I also watched Good Luck to You, Leo Grande on Hulu, which is a movie with Emma Thompson. And that was another one where it was like promoted as a comedy, and I thought it was kind of more of a drama too. Like it definitely has funny moments, but I feel like all the funny moments were in the trailer. And it was a really good movie. It just wasn't as advertised, I guess. But it's have any of you heard of this one?
Yeah,
I watched the.
uh,
Or go ahead.
sorry. I was just going to say I saw quite a few adverts for it here in the UK. But maybe just, I don't know, because on the tube in London, you just see all these adverts for lots of different films. But I never got a sense of what it was about.
So it's about this woman who hires a sex worker for the night, and she basically is getting over kind of the death of her husband and wants to do these things with with a guy, and it's about their relationship, and they do actually meet more than once. So it's about what happens in there.
Does it show the graphic sex with Emma Thompson?
I wouldn't say it's that graphic.
She a naked?
She's exposed, but not completely.
That's an interesting word to use, exposed.
I guess her you see her breasts. And you see a lot of her body, but you don't see all of it.
I watched like the first 20 or 30 minutes of this and he's a younger guy, and then she paid for him. They're in the hotel, but then she kept like not psyching herself out, but she kept coming up with excuses of not to do it. And then me watching it, I was like, all right, come on. All right, I get it. You having reservations about this. You pay for this man to be here. You say he's attractive and everything else like that, but she just keeps coming up with excuses for not to do it. And then like I was getting frustrated. So I was like, all right, I need to watch this another take, because I can see that this is going to be the plot of her not wanting to do this. So I'll check back another time so that I stop watching it.
So that's why I think it should have been advertised differently, because like if we expected something different, then it would have made sense. But since we were expecting like this funny comedy, lighthearted, like she was gonna go through with it, it needed different expectations, I feel like. So
one thing I did laugh at, she asked him like, because she's self-conscious, she's older, he's young, and he was like, what? She asked him what's the oldest person he ever did, and what did he say, like 82?
80,
God
84
damn,
or something. Yeah, 82.
Hey man, he about his business. He go where the money's at.
Yeah.
All right.
So I respect him. And then she was like, so were you attracted to all of them? He was like, yes. But then he slicked a slick line in there. He was like he finds something attractive about them. Like he was like, for her, he likes her lips and stuff like that and everything. I like the coverage of your skin or your neck or whatever. So I was like, I'm about to use that later on.
I like how you sign your name. That's sexy.
Right. Yeah, how you signed your name on this check? Yes.
Right.
That's what made me here.
What you been up to, Matt?
I've been busy. This is not on the thing. You can keep it or add this.
No, we keeping this shit. You fucking right. You've been busy, man. Like, look, just because there's a fucking what y'all got, tsunamis there? Fuck, I got
typhoons.
Just because y'all got motherfucking typhoons every motherfucking week, don't mean that you can be missing episodes of this goddamn show, right? This is more important.
Hey, if you look at the ratings, it look like they didn't need me anyway. They doing high things.
I mean, that's because you letting shit just happen.
Right. So with Thai foods and all this other stuff, and then my son's all in the shit now. Like I remember, like he wasn't in sports or any activities or anything like that. So my weekends were clear. He stayed, play with his friends, video games, nice easy weekend. Now this motherfucker got baseball practice throughout the week, every Saturday. He's in yearbook, so he has to go out and take pictures of like sporting events and dance.
That's still a thing.
Yeah.
That's just not online.
Well, I mean, you still got to go out and take pictures for yearbook, but they type up the articles and things like that. Yeah, so it's just all this stuff going on. So, and then work and shit. So it's been hard for me to watch stuff, and the only thing I watch is anime, whatever I got to do for this podcast, and Marvel. That's all I do.
I see.
But
I take it that you will not be participating in the Andor conversation. Has anybody watched Andor besides me here?
Nope.
I got
delete that
motherfuckers on this podcast, and none of y'all watching some quality fucking television. I see how it is.
That falls in the same line as Marvel. Like, when you're in a Star Wars universe, I don't know if I can jump right on in. Maybe I need to go back and watch Attack of the Clones or something. Maybe I'm going to miss something. So I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
That's true. They have made quite a few Star Wars shows now. So.
Yeah, but this one's good.
Yep.
So if I started, without the back histories or watching these other, so I haven't seen Mandalorian or the Boba Fett one, can I jump in right now with Andor and understand everything?
Yes, the whole point of this show specifically is just jump in. All you need to know is this is the time period between 3 and 4 where the Empire is a thing and motherfuckers don't like the government right now. That's all you need to know. There's actual complaints online that there aren't enough Easter eggs in the show because it's not Star Wars enough.
Oh. All right. Well, then maybe I'll check it out whenever my Naruto journey is done.
What are you watching?
But Cyberpunk Edge Runners on Netflix. I don't know how. Have you heard of Cyberpunk the video game?
Yeah, I played it.
Yeah.
Okay,
and of course Alix has, because she's had to watch.
That was like the background to my whole lockdown experience was just Cyberpunk. It's I know everything.
I played it in 2 languages.
You're like, why is your game glitched now, Josh? Like, why is your man like upside down walking on the ceiling? Like, what is wrong with this?
So many questions. I'd come in and just look and turn around and just leave him to it. It's fine.
I never played this game, but like I said, I'm on this anime journey. So anything that Netflix puts out there, the anime, I'll check it out. I love this show. It's only short. It's only 6, 7, 8 episodes, but apparently I talked to this guy at work. So apparently this is like a prequel-ish thing type to the before the video game. And it's basically you have a guy struggling in the streets and the world is how do you want to call it? You could put machines in you cosmetically. And so he joins this gang where, they go out and do jobs for money and stuff. But I love this. I also I read that after the show came out, the sales of the video game went up. And now I'm like, maybe I need to get this game. So I'm really into this. Of course, I watched it in Japanese because I like the original voices of it. But yeah, I definitely
original. Like, isn't Cyberpunk an American property?
I don't know, but when I went to Netflix, I was like, I want to know what the original language is. The original language was Japanese, so that's what I watched it in. So at first I started watching in English, and I was like, this don't sound right. I don't like this. I was like, what's the original language? And that's what I watched it in Japanese going forward.
Gotcha.
But yeah, if you into the Cyberpunk video game, please check out the show. Yeah, I think you'll like it.
Or will this make you check the video game out?
Oh yeah, 100%. I already want to get the game, the only thing is, I told myself I wouldn't buy a new game until I got a PS5. And
Didn't you
it's
buy
been 2
Stray?
years. Huh?
Didn't you buy Stray?
That don't count. That was like a downloaded one.
Oh, okay.
And that was cheaper than a regular one. So, but I really want to get the game now after watching the show.
Okay.
I thought it was very good. So it's my recommendation.
Yes, thank you. And of course, I would never go on this podcast without talking about my beloved Abbot Elementary. So season 2 is out and the first episode. So of course I watched it. Perfection again. Perfection. Everything about the show, I love it. So the only sad part, spoilers, because you should have already watched it. It's the greatest show on TV. I was upset that Janine and
Everybody hates Chris.
Tyreek broke up. I was
That's
upset about
good.
that.
That means she can get with Everybody Hates Chris.
Greg. Yeah.
Yeah, look. I watched like 5 episodes of the show. He will forever be Everybody Hates Chris to me, okay?
Of course, but on the podcast, I like to try to use the correct name.
Wait, why
But
did
yeah, so
Tyreek and Janine to break up?
He did want them to. Oh,
Oh.
you did not? Or you did?
no, I mean, I did and I didn't, because of course you want Janine and Greg to be together, but I like their playful banterness
Isn't
that they have.
extremely toxic though?
He mooches.
I mean, aren't we all a little bit?
Are you making excuses for him, Matt?
But I'm like, when he had when he performed at the school and they had their little handshake stuff, I loved all that. But
Right, but he ain't the one, my guy. He's not the one.
well, he's not though. But I mean, it's funny because when he he moved out, right? Why he pack up his air mattress and put it on top of the car and drove away? Like, why would you let the air out of it and just fold it up?
I mean, realistically, that air mattress is going to deflate itself over time because that's what they do. Like you go to sleep on a fully inflated mattress and you wake up on the floor.
That's true.
Right.
So has anybody heard of a video game called The Quarry? It's on PlayStation and also Xbox.
I've heard of it, yeah.
So it's in the same vein as an Until Dawn, where you're you're controlling multiple characters. Like the point of the game is to like play the story, not so much the action. Like you can make decisions like, am I going to answer this question aggressively or friendly, or stuff like that. So I played it, and I got the really bad ending where I accidentally got everybody killed. And the game was all like, "Oh, hey, since you finished me the first time, you've unlocked this rewind mode. So play the game again." And I was like, "No, I'm not doing that." But thank you for your time. It was a lot of fun. I recommend it. It's got some famous people. It's got like David Arquette, Justice Smith, Ariel Winter from Modern Family, and also Brenda Song from Disney stuff. And also apparently Macaulay Culkin's baby mama. So, yeah, that's a thing. I recommend the game. And then I also caught The Woman King in the movie theater this week. This is really good. It's from the same director that brought us The Old Guard and also a throwback, Love and Basketball. I'm gonna say two people on this podcast have seen that movie, and it's not the two people you think.
I've seen it,
and I have not.
Right.
It's Rachel. Rachel, she.
So speaking of that, The Woman King, you give us a synopsis of what it is, what it's about, without spoilers.
Yeah, so it's based on a true story. In the 1800s, there was an African tribe that had an all-woman military. Think of the Dora Milaje from Black Panther. Like that's who they were based off of. And so this is a critical time in Africa where the slave trade is just like destroying the country. And, it's not so much white people are coming to like take black people. Like, yeah, that's happening, but also like it's black people like selling black people to the white people. And the tribe that they're from, they have greatly profited from this, and John Boyega's the new king. And they're at a point where they're like, we don't know if we should keep doing this, but if we don't, we're gonna literally end up having to go to war. It's a really good, like, there's a lot of, my biggest complaint is like there's too many storylines for 2 hours. I'm not saying that this should have been a TV show, but they should have cut some of the storylines that they had. Like, I feel like one storyline that they treated very tastefully was how they talked about how John Boyega became king, because he had to do some shit to become king, and they lightly touch on it, but it's enough to where you're like, I don't need to know all the details in this, but what you've told me is a very interesting tidbit about his character. But then we get like an unnecessary love story in the mix, and like some other stuff with Viola Davis, and it's like we're doing too much right now. I'd still recommend the movie. Hopefully there's going to be like a director's cut to maybe give those other storylines some room to breathe. But I'd highly recommend it. It's really good. Viola Davis is going to get an Oscar nomination. I don't know what else is going to get nominated, but I feel like she's going to get nominated for this. She-Hulk. Who all's been watching She-Hulk?
I have been.
I have.
Josh, Alex, She-Hulk?
I haven't seen She-Hulk, so.
She-Hulk.
Yeah, we've not seen She-Hulk.
So you're not watching, Alex?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh, Alex.
I came underprepared for this.
We were doing so well.
So well.
Okay, so what'd you guys think of episode 6 of She-Hulk?
I liked it, but not as much as the previous episode. I think the previous episode is probably one of my favorite episodes so far, because we really saw her working more, and
women should be working.
No, it was a good, I don't know, I feel like it more hit its stride in that episode, and then this episode I feel like was a little bit of a step backwards. I mean, it's still been really entertaining and good, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling this episode as much as other episodes.
I liked it. The thing I like how what was the guy's name? Mr. Infinity, Mr. Immortal. So basically, I won't say he doesn't die.
Just explain.
Well, no, I was thinking about how he said it. He's like, he does die, he just comes back. So one thing I do like about it is normally with all these Marvel stuff, and either you're a superhero or you're a villain. And I liked how basically this guy, he marries these women, get whatever he wants, and then to get out the marriage, he dies. But he just comes back and then starts a new life with another family. So get you guys up. So then not divorce. It's not divorce. It's what's what I'm looking for? Not alimony, right? They're trying to get alimony. All his different wives and stuff. They got to separate. That's why they're going to the lawyer. And I really like that. They have an aspect of somebody who has superpowers, but they're just doing it for their own gain.
Right.
Because I think about it like, honestly, this question's to everybody. If you got superpowers today, would you really be a superhero? Like me personally, I'll probably use it for my own personal gain. Now, if I'm walking down the street and I see somebody getting mugged, I'll probably help them out, but I'm not going out of my way to do stuff. Like, you know how we get those Amber Alerts? We get those Amber Alerts at 4 a.m. I'm not jumping out of bed to go do this, but I'll help it out if I see it or if I'm in close proximity. Y'all looking at me like I ain't the only one. So all of y'all will be, y'all have y'all moral compass. So all of y'all will be Superman out here.
I'd be a supervillain.
He says this all the time. All the time. There's an obsession with being a supervillain.
You walk down the street, you see a man getting mugged, you join in. Everyone doing the middle.
I'm kind of with you, Matt, but like in a different way. Like I like helping people kind of what I do now, like social work. So I feel like I don't know if I would necessarily feel like I would have to use my superhero powers for good. Like I would be doing good in my job, hopefully.
Okay.
That's a nice way to say it. Okay.
I don't give a fuck about those people. The Rachel story. I got you.
I'd like to
Alex.
electrocute people, set them on fire.
God damn it, Josh.
Sorry, I said too much.
I think I would be exactly the same. I would just, if I saw something happening,
I would do
try
nothing.
to intervene. I would not go out of my way. I would try and blend in. And just maybe if like the fancy struck me, I would try and get my own back on some nasty people. Like use my powers for the greater good, but not in a supervillain way.
When you said nasty people, I thought you just meant like, oh yeah, when I was in school, this girl was a bully. So now it's revenge time.
Yeah, like either way. Like if I didn't like, a politician or someone famous.
Damn, you over here like committing political crimes? The fuck?
Well, like just like funny things that would haunt them for the rest of their lives that would be all over the news, like be on Twitter.
Not really sweet.
Nothing that would kill them, but just something that would be a little bit like, how did that happen?
Oops.
Well, I guess it depends on your powers too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, Matt. Like I would do my best to just inflate my bank account. If I gotta go the Josh route, sure. But but that also got me to thinking. It's like people always make the joke about how are you gonna be a vampire that's lived 200 years and you broke? And it's like, how do you know really what to invest in, right? Because it's like we're on the ground right now. We see all these stocks and shit. We know okay, sure, Apple and Tesla, whatever, that's gonna be big or whatever. But you don't know. How is it that you know in 1980 to invest in Apple? How the fuck do you know that?
Great point.
Maybe just have
your
a
superpower could be time
portfolio then.
No, yes, but no, I'm just talking specifically for immortal people, because that Mr. Immortal guy, he's all like, well, I could sell off some of my Apple stock, but it's like, how the fuck did you know to get that?
Yeah, true.
That's true.
I guess they just have a savings account and they accrue just over a millennia, just build it up.
It's the same bank. It's like on Futurama when Fry's money, got bigger and bigger. No, I like the episode also. I didn't I'm with Rachel. I like the last one more because I feel like the last episode is a real it was what I hoped the show would be when they said they were doing it. I really like the B story more where she was in court versus when she was at that wedding. And also because of what happened in episode 2 or 3, I don't trust any man that tries to talk to her. And I wonder if that's intentional, where the let me speak for all women. So have a seat, ladies. Yeah, I'll take it from I am assuming it. Alex, you've been out the game a minute, but when you are being approached, when you are a single woman or trying to interact with a man, I assume that there is some sort of internal dread of is this man going to fucking hurt me? And
even without being single.
Okay.
I hate using that line oh, I have a boyfriend. That's if I know.
But where is he? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Fair point. Alex. Fair point. So it's I don't know. I don't know if that's intentional with the show, but so at the end of one of the episodes, some men attack She-Hulk because they're trying to get her blood, and they tried to use a syringe on her, but her Hulk skin broke it. And so every time she interacts with a man in a dating capacity, I'm like, are you going to try and take her blood? Because there was an episode after that where she went on some online dates. And one of them was asking some not okay questions about her powers and shit. I'm like, my guy, what the fuck do you need to know that? And so like she met
Right.
a guy at this wedding, and I'm like, I don't trust you, man. So if that wasn't the intent of the show, at least for me, that they did a good job of that.
That's clever, smart.
But yeah, also Twitter's been roasting her wedding outfit.
Which
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
Polka dots.
Oh, the polka dots.
Because they were like, you went to like she went to like basically think Edna from The Incredibles, that type of like designer, and they got her a whole new wardrobe, and they like you went to a fucking a wedding in a polka dot dress, like this is a fucking backyard wedding and shit. It's like they was roasting that ass. It was very funny. Yeah, we've come to the end of the chit chat, and wow, we are just at 50 minutes. We are zooming. We're all professionals here, guys. This week we discuss Confess, Fletch.
Who killed this young woman?
I think the victim interrupted an art theft.
Your fingerprints are on the murder weapon, and someone matching your description was seen with the victim. Come back with me to police headquarters.
I get it. You want my help? Okay. Hey, guys, is this the way we can call in a coffee order? I'd kill for a macchiato. Not literally.
I looked into your criminal record.
And?
You're a bit of a shady character, Mr. Fletcher.
But I am adorable.
After becoming the prime suspect in multiple murders, Fletch strives to prove his innocence while simultaneously searching for his fiance's stolen art collection.
I really enjoyed the film, start to finish. Like, we were laughing quite a lot during it. Loved the whole kind of, detective murder has happened element, because I'm a massive true crime fan. So altogether, like, I didn't think it was too cringy, or like, I think that was the perfect balance of comedy and also action happening. Like, you're invested in the story, but also it's like thoroughly enjoyable and like a light-hearted watch as well. Just loved it. To be honest, the music as well, the soundtrack was so good. Just thoroughly invested, start to finish. Really enjoyed it.
I agree.
Review over. That's it.
No, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I didn't know what to expect, because I didn't realize until halfway through the film that there were other films, or even that there was a series of books, I think.
Yes.
I
We'll
think
get into the
Chevy
books.
Chase.
We'll get into the books in a second. Yeah,
Okay.
Chevy Chase was in the first two movies.
Yeah, I thought he looks different now. He he looks like John Hamm. But it was good. Yeah, it was good chemistry between the different characters, which is what carries a film, I guess. I was saying to Alex, the last time I saw Kyle MacLachlan in a film, he was playing a 15-year-old boy, and that was in June. The
Oh shit!
1984 one. Yeah, and here he is with like white hair. It's weird.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, a good film though. I enjoyed it.
I also enjoyed it. I thought all the characters were fun and quirky and like full characters, and I was laughing too. Like, I thought the humor was really good, and yeah, I enjoyed it overall.
I'd like to open with a fun fact, guys. The longest orgasm in mammals is that of the domestic pig. On average, its orgasm lasts 30 minutes, but it can last for as long as 90 minutes. I learned that today when I watched that movie. I really enjoyed the movie. I'm a huge John Hamm fan. I got on the boat when he was on Mad Men. That's how I found out he was a person, and then found out he was from St. Louis, and like bonus points, But I try to see John Hamm movies when they come out, and the trailers make this look fun. The movie itself was fun. Like, it was funny. The little situations he was getting himself into were like, yeah. Like when he went over the neighbor's house, and it's just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I know someone like that. I've been in situations like that, and it's just like, I want to leave, but I don't know how to leave. But I also can't leave. I've been there. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I will say that It almost felt like the kidnapping plot was a bit of an afterthought when we got to the end. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie.
I enjoyed it too. I really like the interactions between like the police with him, Grizz. I enjoyed it. Like I like the him sneaking around. He knows the police just follow him. The little back and forth with them where I should arrest you for this, but I'm not type of thing. I enjoyed it. The thing that always stuck in my the first thing I thought once it was over was I kept thinking, what was up with him and his bare feet? Like I haven't seen the other movies or whatever. Maybe that's the thing that they talk about. But I just kept thinking about what is it him and his bare feet.
Good point.
I think so. I watched the first movie. I think there was some stuff about him taking his shoes off.
I thought it was just like one of those things where like all the characters had to be a little quirky, and that was his quirk.
Has anybody seen the other movies?
No.
So I watched the first one. It came out in 1985, and I'm sure if the year were 1985 and I was watching it, I'm sure I would have been cracking the fuck up. But that movie was fucking terrible. It wasn't funny. It was just like it was the mystery itself was really interesting. Like he's an investigative journalism, and he's on the beach investigating the drug trade. And this man comes up to him and he says, "Hey, I want to give you $50,000 to murder me." And he's like, "Excuse me, what?" And so he's like investigating the man and like the circumstances of that. And all of that was really interesting, but almost every scene it's like when you get like a Kevin Hart or somebody and they're like, "Okay, we don't have a full script. Here are the beats you need to hit and just have fun in this scene." It's just like each scene was like Chevy Chase doing stuff and a little bit of the story. And that shit's not funny in 2022.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it now.
I mean, it's your hour and a half, Matt. But I'm telling you, I didn't enjoy that shit. But what do you all think the Rotten Tomatoes was on the movie?
I say something high, like 70%.
Yeah, I'd say around that. 73.
Oh, we're doing exact figures.
Just a guess.
Then
yeah.
I'm gonna go 81. Just why not?
Ooh, I was gonna go like 80.
Okay. 85 with the audience score of 73.
Wait, the audience was lower
Called
than...
it.
You know audiences are stupid.
Okay.
All right, so Fletch is based off a series of books that were written between 1974 and 1994. How many books were written within that time frame? A, 5, B, 9, C, 11, or D, 15?
What was the time frame again?
20 years, 74, 94.
I'm going to say 15.
Yeah, I think 15. I can imagine them being like quite short, little like nicely packaged together.
Knocking them
15.
out.
Yeah.
You copying my homework?
Yep.
I mean, we got so many people on this episode. All y'all could take one answer, but that's fine. Matt?
What was the shortest one was 5?
5, 9, 11, 15.
I'm going with 5.
Rachel?
I'm going with 9.
11. You all were wrong. You guys did not cover the fucking spread. Right. So there's 11 books, 3 movies. Let's see. Do I talk about it here? This will be the first big screen Fletch film since Fletch lives in 1989. The first Fletch. This is also the first Fletch film to not star Chevy Chase. The story that Frank tries to get Fletch to take on at the end of this movie regarding the sudden retirement of a newspaper publisher sets up a plot of the next novel in the Fletch series, Fletch's Fortune. And John Hamm and John Slattery. John Slattery's the guy from the newspaper. They previously worked together on Mad Men. But there was a lot of issues getting the third Fletch made. Like, they were trying in the 90s. They tried, like, at one point they had, like, Brad Pitt attached. At one point, Kevin Smith was trying to make the movie with Jason Lee. Ben Affleck. It's just been a mess trying to get this.
Was the first two movies, were they popular, like in the box office and stuff?
The first one was. The second one didn't make as much money, so that's kind of why things stalled out. Like, I watched the trailer for the second one because I couldn't. It was just too much to watch that after watching that first one. The second one looked fucking bad, like really bad.
Oh no.
It's just more Chevy Chase doing his characters, and it's just like, do I need to watch anything from Chevy Chase in the 80s outside of Christmas Vacation?
Can I ask, is this meant to be a sequel to the Chevy Chase films, or is it just independent, a different adaptation?
Nothing said that it's not a sequel. I mean, he did say he used to be an investigative journalist. It's just the character would be a lot older if we were actually looking at it that way. It's a spiritual sequel.
Okay. I'm happy with that.
But yeah, I feel like Fletch is something that they really should just try and make it a TV show. Like, each season could be a different book.
That would be fun.
That would make them more sense than to try and do these movies.
Well, that got me thinking about what was that movie that Tom Cruise was in that was based off a book?
Reacher. Jack Reacher.
Reacher, yeah. See, I didn't care for the movies, but when they made it into a book, I love that show.
TV show.
Yeah, the TV show when they made that one. So maybe they could have went that route.
Yeah, this feels like something that would like be at home on like Apple TV Plus, where it's like, this isn't complete shit, and we gave money to it, and also here's a check, John Hamm. Here's an actor you recognize and like, and let's go.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
But all right, this was a lot brisk than I thought. I mean, I feel like the time, we're working with 3 different time zones here, and it is just now midnight where Josh and Alix are, so they're a little bit more docile. So I feel like that kind of explains, why we're ending this at a very prompt 1 hour.
I can go and chuck some cold water over his face.
We got another hour in us.
It's a podcast. It's a podcast. It's not visual, so everyone would miss out on that.
Well, they're here the water. But but genuinely, thank you guys so much. We finally got this figured out. Hopefully we can get you guys back on one more time before the year is out. Not sure what that will look like, but really nice catching up with you guys. Genuinely very nice to meet you, Alix.
Very nice to meet you guys too. It's been really fun.
Yes, thank you guys again both for being on.
Also, Rachel's here.
Thanks. We don't care about Rachel, just Alix and Josh.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay.
Thank you.
You too, Rachel. You too.
We're past it now. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, rate, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. Also, what is your platform of choice, Alix?
Apple Podcasts, is that the correct answer?
Whatever.
I feel like I'm being quizzed, but I rated Jules 5 stars. Apparently that helps.
I'm just interested in people's different platforms. That's all. I mean, the metrics say that the bulk of our listeners are on Apple Podcasts. And so I assumed as much. But also, motherfuckers be listening to us on the website. And I'm like, why? Like, what is that?
It's not very portable, is it?
It's not. And it's like, we can't get proper metrics from that because it's the website. We need you to do it in one of the apps.
If anyone here is listening on the website, get off.
Stop doing that, okay?
I mean, continue listening, but not on the website. It doesn't help.
If you have any feedback, please email us at weusedtotalkpod@gmail.com. Like our Facebook page. We used to talk about this at work, and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at We Used to Talk Pod. Next week, we review Netflix's Kid Cudi animated film Intergalactic. Also, next week, we find out if we won that award. It is a genuine David versus Goliath situation, but hey, we might actually win. We don't know.
And like always, I don't know if this was a good episode. I don't know if this was a bad episode, but whatever you think about it, talk about it at work. Thank you for listening.
Have anything to say to what I just said?
I was going to, but then I don't want to fuck up the outro, so I kept that in house. Because I was going to say, fuck that. If we win, ain't going to be no episode next week. We going to be celebrated.
Oh,
right.
That's fair.